we want to make sure that we get information out there about cooperative extension and other resources. And so I'm going to turn the moderating job over to Russ Engel, who's the Yuma County Cooperative Extension Director.
All right, thanks, Paul. Appreciate it. I'm Russ Engel. I'm the Director for Yuma County Cooperative Extension, and I just wanted to start this with just a quick overview of the University of Arizona and our presence here in Yuma. So University of Arizona is a land-grant university for Arizona. Being a land-grant university, we have three major components, and those components are teaching, research, and extension. Yuma County is very fortunate that we have all three of those components here in Yuma County. We have a teaching component with Yuma campus, and Tanya Hodges oversees that. We have the research component with YCEDA in the Ag Center, and Humberto Hernandez oversees the Ag Center. And then we have the extension component, and I oversee the Yuma County Cooperative Extension. So, like I said, Yuma County is very, very fortunate that we have all three of those. There's not a lot of counties across the United States that have all three of those components. And so, with that, and we're here, I guess in a nutshell, what I would say is our mission is to serve you guys. We're here to help support the local community. So please, use us and abuse us. That's what we're here for. And I have speakers that represent all of those three components. And our first speaker will be Ed Martin, and this is kind of unusual, or it seems backwards to me. Ed's my boss. He's the statewide interim director for cooperative extension, and Ed oversees cooperative extension on the statewide level. So with that, I'll give it over to Ed Martin.
Yes, you can use us. Don't abuse us, though. We're just, state workers. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about our New Economies Initiative, the funding that Cooperative Extension has received, and talk to you about how Cooperative Extension is moving forward over the next year. We had a good year. We received one-time funding from the state legislature last year of $7.35 million per year for the next 3 years. These funds are to be used in the New Economy Initiative. We're part of that group. They're to be invested through Cooperative Extension, and it's to be invested in every one of the programs across the state that Extension is involved in. Now, Extension's been engaging with stakeholders to get input about how we should best invest this money. In addition, we had a needs survey that went out. Hopefully many of you filled that out. As a matter of fact, I just heard today or read yesterday and Tuesday notes that they're actually extending that until November 21st. So it was supposed to close on Monday, but they're extending it. Anyway, there's an online needs survey that we're trying to get some input from our stakeholders across the state. The 3-year funding does somewhat hamper us a bit. Just to make it clear for all of you, 3-year funding is great. It's about $22 million. We're happy to get it. We're elated. We worked hard to get that. But when we hire faculty and faculty in the counties and specialists, these are career-long commitments that we're making. Our faculty are continuing faculty, very similar to tenured faculty. So they go through the same type of a review. So when we're doing this, we're making a commitment to them that we expect them to be working for the U of A for many, many years. And having 3 years of funding makes it a little bit difficult for us to make new hires that, at the end of 3 years, we don't want to be falling off a cliff and saying we don't have any funding. So we're very strategic in the way that we're investing this money. It would be helpful, I'll bring it up, it would be helpful if this was ongoing, so any of you want to help us get this to be ongoing funding rather than just the next 3 years. That would be very helpful for us. We're also investing in our current workforce. We used some of this money not just to hire new people, but to help support the people that already work here and the folks that are in this room right now. And I've got a quote there that one of our specialists said, "What's the use in hiring some new faculty and staff if you're not adequately supporting the current faculty and staff?" And so that's what we've done. And so we've taken some money and invested it in the folks that are already doing the work. So we got $7.35 million. we're going to be spending about $3 to $4 million on faculty lines. Those faculty lines are going to be for new faculty, which would be specialists like Dr. Rock, people who are working in the academic departments, maybe working at Mac, maybe working at right here. John Palumbo's a specialist. And then also, that would include our agents. They're also considered faculty, like Robert Masson, who works over in Russ's office. We've got another $1 to $2 million that we're going to hire staff with. Staff helps support our faculty in helping to deliver the programs. Another $1 to $2 million that's going to current faculty and staff that are here, so we're helping to support them. And then, well, like everything else, right? It's not 1.2, it's actually 1.1 to be fair. But 1.1 of our money is going to the University of Arizona for indirect costs. So they take that off the top. And so that's going to the administration. So what do we need to do? We need to continue doing the good work that we're doing. We need to look for new partnerships. We need to reach out to innovate and expand Extension's reach. And we need to develop some marketing strategies as well, right? To ensure that our impacts are well known and documented. I think we do a lot of great work in Extension and we don't get the word out very well. One of the programs, or projects rather, that we had was this collaborators map. It's difficult for you to see, I know, but basically all these little dots here represent collaborators that we have with Cooperative Extension throughout the state. And this is just our first cut. We had over 600, I want to say close to 800 in Maricopa County alone, but we've been doing this for a few years, so every year we update it and make sure. So I'm sure we'll get some updates. But this helped me when I was talking to the legislators when they said, well, what does Cooperative Extension do for us? And I can actually go in, and this map can be separated out by county. It can also be separated out by supervisor district or by Arizona legislative district, so I can tell them exactly what programs are happening in their district. We also did a techonomy report, which was an economic impact of Cooperative Extension. We used 2021 data. We spent about $32 million that year in total expenditures. The Arizona supported about 859 jobs across the state, generating about $36.7 million in labor income. Total direct economic output from Cooperative Extension was about 69.4, almost $70 million. We also returned about $1.4 million in local and county taxes, and we gave back the state $2 million in just state taxes. So I know the state supports us, but we give a little bit back every year. And for every dollar that the state gave us, based on the previous year, which was $14.2 million, we paid back about $4.87. So it's almost a 1 to 5 return for them. The total economic impact on productivity was $136 million. That's taken into account the work that our specialists and our county folks are doing to help improve the economies in their respective counties. U of A as a trusted source for across the state. Ethan Orr is going to talk to you about an irrigation program that we have on irrigation efficiency. This program was given to the U of A because the state legislature actually trusted the U of A to handle the money better than any other entity in the state. The challenge is we need to keep doing what we're doing, folks. Need to keep reaching out. We've got some great programs that run across the state, and we need to just kind of keep doing the good work and expanding out. We've done very well with projects with the partner map and the techonomy report. We did the state needs assessment and almost completing that. So next year we're going to have a new strategic plan. And so we're going to be looking again for help from you as we use the economic report and the needs assessment to develop a new strategic plan for Cooperative Extension. We're rededicating ourselves to our volunteer force. We have a lot of folks that volunteer, and I think we need to do a better job. And supposedly our website is going to be revised. I know for those of us in Cooperative Extension, we all go, oh no, there it goes again. But it's supposed to make it easier for folks to get into. So in closing, we have a unique opportunity. something I haven't seen in 30 years, and I know what I'm talking about because I started in 1992 with the University of Arizona. I have not seen the state legislature actually invest $22 million into cooperative extension at any time during my tenure with the University of Arizona. So this is very unique that we have this money available to us. And at the same time, we need to make sure that we demonstrate to the Arizona legislature that their faith in us is worthwhile and well placed, and that we're going to use this money to the best of our abilities. I always say I'm not looking to invest this money for the next 3 years. We're looking to invest this money for the next 30 years. So we've got to be very strategic, and I'd be looking forward to and happy to hear input from all of you on where we should be placing our investment. I can assure you I've received many emails from many of you telling me exactly what to do with this money, which is fine. I don't mind doing that. But truly, this is a unique opportunity that we have, and I welcome all input. So thank you very much.
So serving the ag industry, in extension, the ag industry doesn't have necessarily boundaries or borders marked on a map. Here in this area, we have Imperial Valley and we have Yuma Valley. And we work very closely with our sister university, the University of California. So I encourage all of my people and our researchers and our people work very closely with them, because the more we know and the more we work together, the better we'll be able to serve the ag industry here in the area, not just the border of Yuma County. So my next speaker is Jairo Diaz. He's the director of the Desert Research and Extension Center for the University of California.
All right, good morning. Well, thank you so much for inviting this brother from California here. I'm going to get quickly, I'm part of the Desert Research and Extension Center. We have been established back in 1912. So we have a long history, of solving problems, for not only for Imperial County, for the desert, for the Sonora Desert regions, We have different kind of projects over there, from crop production and research on nutrient management, irrigation, along with a cattle feedlot too. So we have projects on nutrition over there too. And we have a strong outreach program that we call Farm Smart. So I'm going to focus, quickly on the kind of projects, this way, okay, we have there. So we have in our facility, we have about 250 acres over there. We are co-located with our Cooperative Extension Office. So in the Cooperative Extension Office is where we call advisors. In California, we call advisors these individuals that do research and extension, at the local level. We have, employees, staff members, and so on. And as I say, we have a feed yard because the largest single commodity that we have in Imperial County is cattle feedlots as well. So we cover, the vegetable production, the forage, and the small grains as well, on different kind of research opportunities with these researchers. So the kind of research that we conduct over there is pretty broad, from plant breeding all the way to environmental studies, food safety and livestock, feedlot cattle nutrition studies. This kind of research is conducted with some of us and do also research at the center, the Cooperative Extension Office. And here, is Alex Pullman from UC Riverside. And most of the researchers are from Riverside, Davis, and even, from Canada, from Cornell University, and so on. We have a lot of collaborations. We work a lot with our local Imperial Community College. We work with the University of Arizona as well with Tanya, Hodges, to increase and reach, our students and youth, to get into ag science as well. So we have great collaboration with the industry as well, with Arizona plant breeders. Some of these collaborations comes through the center. Others come with the researcher. So this is just some examples of those collaborations that we have. And one of the most successful collaborations that we have is through our outreach program that we call Farm Smart. Farm Smart was established back in 20 years ago. And it's been rooted through our region. And we have this SMART program is really smart also on the financial stuff as well, because some of the funding that we have, it comes from the Imperial Irrigation District. And through the years, we have been working with the board. The same way here, we work with the industry and so on, in helping, our communities to, in our youth, to get knowledge about the food, about what is important in agriculture. and what the growers do, in order to produce food, and what are all the things, getting related to that. So working with the Imperial Irrigation District has been really fortunate, for us, and to grow with them as well. And just yesterday, I went to the board and I explained what we are doing. I respond inquiries about things that we do. And also we got approved, the next year budget. But not only that was a great success for us, but the other thing is that the board is going to challenge other organizations, to provide funding for us. So those kind of things, is that we are working here, with our communities, with our stakeholders, so that our research and our reach is relevant, for our communities. In terms of my research, and my background is in water resources. I do projects on irrigation and nutrient management. I like to test a lot of technology, handheld technology that we can use in research, to answer some of the questions, what are the effects, of water stress, of nutrient stress, on plants. So one of these is, I'm going to show you just 2 examples quickly, is with this instrument, it's called multi-spec. We can check, on crops, the leaf temperature and the ambient temperature, and we can do the balance, on that. When we have, good irrigation management, we have treatment, for, this is also another example of how valuable, our research centers, because with this kind of research, you have to pretty much dye the plants, You cannot do that, in growers' field, not for 40 acres, So you can do, a small trial, like this, where you can see, if you restrict the water, how cool are your leaves, and you can see how that sensor, can detect stress, early on in the season, but also at the end, because these are onions, and at the end, the onions, the tops die, so there is less transpiration, so the temperature reduced. So you can see, a better picture of what's going on, with your crop. The other thing is an instrument that we have been using for many decades, and I bet Charlie Chances have been using this for many years, are the soil moisture sensors and the soil water tension. And with these kind of trials that we have been doing at the center, also testing different amounts of water, we can see, how beneficial are these sensors, to tell you, what's going on with the soil water over there, So this is kind of technology that is all nowadays is repackaged, with new networks and internet and so on and connectivity, that help us to understand what's going on. And at the end of the day, is to better use our water resources, and to tell the growers, how to use it. The other thing is this technology is old, but it's not well accepted, in the industry still. So we need to push more on this, and move forward, with this kind of technology. And this is my contact info, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.
So our next speaker, a little bit before I introduce him, the Yuma Ag Center is absolutely a critical component for us to be able to serve the needs of the community and of the ag industry. We've heard the discussions earlier. There, some of the research, it just, really cannot be done on the farm. A lot of the research will start at the Ag Center and then transition to on the farm. But it's a resource that we have, that we're fortunate that we have, and it serves a critical need in our ability to serve the ag industry. Some wonderful people, some amazing people that work there, that help the ag community, the Palumbo, the Wright, the Siemens. Bindu Podell Ward works there. Marco Pena works there. Robert works there frequently. So a lot of our people work out of the Ag Center. And we really couldn't provide the service we provide without the Ag Center. So my next speaker is Humberto Hernandez. He is the director of the Yuma Ag Center.
Nice to be here, and nice to have this opportunity to talk to you guys. As Russ mentioned, I'm the director of the Yuma Ag Center. And for those who do not know the Yuma Ag Center or haven't been there, don't miss an opportunity to do so. The Yuma Ag Center is a unique ag center here in Yuma. We're blessed to be in an agricultural area of this richness that we have. The support that we get from our community is huge. If we didn't have that support, we wouldn't be here. The research center, for those, like I say, for those who don't know, it's actually 2 stations here in the Yuma area. We're actually blessed to do have both of them. They're unique because both of them are very different from each other. which gives us the opportunity to have more tools for research. The Yuma Valley, which is the one that sits in the Valley, Colorado River Basin, it's a very fertile soil, versus the one on the Mesa farm, which is a very coarse sand. So that gives us the ability to do different types of research when needed. And a lot of times, desert, very arid conditions, which is what we're known for, it really fits on the Mesa farm. A good example right now, we have a project there with desert controls. It's a unique experiment that's going on, project, and we're blessed to be able to have the conditions for that kind of a research. I've been here with the Yuma Ag Center since 38 years, 1984 when I started. And I've seen the Yuma Ag Center grow from being a station that was doing maybe 5 acres of research versus not having much capacity nowadays of the demand for research at the Yuma Ag Center. Not only do we serve our extension agents, our own faculty, we house YCEDA on board, we also tend to the industry. And the reason we tend to the industry is because what the industry needs is much needed for our growers. And by doing so, we facilitate the ability to finance our center. The university has changed through the years of how ag centers are funded. Every center across the state, we have 9 of them. They all have a demand of their budgets, and everybody has unique situations. And the Yuma Ag Center, being a center that sits on an rich agricultural entity, we might have advantages over other centers, but other centers also have other advantages over us. And the Yuma Ag Center has been very, very productive with research development, projects that come in, and so I'm not trying to compete with anybody, but I'm saying that the Yuma Ag Center does go through a lot of research, and sometimes, maybe even more than the other centers. And in doing so, it takes a lot of money to run a Yuma Ag Center. Just to give you a brief, from 38 years when I was there, $160,000 was a budget. Nowadays, it's $2.3 million. So it's a huge leap. And I hear what was going on today, and you heard me ask a question, where do we, as an ag center, stand on the vision for all this huge investments that are coming our way? To me, I look at it that it's going to be a challenge, and challenges are good, because out of challenges come good opportunities. But I look at it and I say, where do we stand? I want to hear where are the thoughts on the higher ups, on the leadership, thinking about the centers. And the reason I do this is because, we want to be a center of excellence for research. And to do so, we have to have an excellent center, a center that is well equipped, that is updated, that has the infrastructure, and that has the support. And for all this project to be successful, I think we need to invest in our ag centers. I'm putting out a cry, to tell you the truth, because I want people to think, the growers, which I know they're a backbone, to our university leadership, and to our own selves, our faculty, our extension agents, everybody, to build a team to bring our ag centers to be state-of-the-art centers, because we're going to have to, if we're going to be taking on these challenges. We need everybody's support. And centers are, and I want to put it lightly, but they need to be considered when thinking about this big innovative or big research projects and visions and strategic plannings and things like that, because We need to have an excellent center to carry on this important research that we want to take. We've done big leaps, and Dean Burgess has done a lot for the university and for the agricultural college. And I want to see the centers for the university, which should be the pride of our growers because it's in their backyard, to be an excellent research center that we can feel very proud of. So I probably already took my time, sorry. But I just want to, get everybody involved to start thinking of how we can make the centers our backyards and be very proud of. Thank you.
All right, so I've kind of talked about, our staff and our people, the wonderful people that we have working here. Our next speaker is one of the team members of the team that we have to help the ag industry. Robert Masson's relatively new. I think he's been here about 3 years. He came during COVID, so that kind of made it difficult for him to get started. But what I'll tell you about Robert, he's one of the most energetic, creative, outside-of-the-box thinkers I have. If you've got a problem, let Robert know about it. He'll listen, and he will come up with, some creative ways to look at it, think about it, and hopefully solve it. Just one example of that, and I hope I'm not stealing any of his thunder, was when he first started, hemp was the thing. Hemp was just came here, and it was all about hemp. And in a nutshell, it didn't do that well. But Robert was the one that thought about, maybe there's another thing, maybe there's another use. And he thought about, well, maybe we can grow baby leaf hemp and use it in our baby leaf mixes. That's the way Robert works. He will find a way to make something work. So please take advantage of him, get a hold of him, utilize him. So our next speaker, Robert Masson, is an ag agent. He's been here about 3 years, and he's just one of our team members. So Robert?
So yes, my name is Robert Masson. I've been allowed to serve the Yuma community in this role as an extension agent for about 3 years now. I came on October 2019, so I had about 3-4 months to figure out what I was supposed to do before everything shut down. And luckily, I was able to circulate a needs-based survey and gather information from over 100 people in the ag community before everything closed up. So how have I been spending my time? Well, I'm a generalist, so I'm all over the place, but that's okay because I'm the type of person who listens to 3 audiobooks at the same time on shuffle. So that's kind of my life in a nutshell. So what do? I help growers with their problems, and really you can break it into 2 different categories of how I help them. The first is extension outreach. So I help with a lot of continuing education with our grower community, extending the resources of the university out to them. I organize a lot of workshops. This year, thanks to the specialty crop grant, we're able to organize 6 workshops for the farming community. And, that's changed, right? When I came on, it was all in person. Everybody was used to that. And we did this transition to online, to Zoom, which was a big step for a lot of our growers and farming community. But, we took to it like ducks to water. The community really accepted that. And we found that we had increased attendance because people could log in from wherever across the world to attend our meetings. So that was an opportunity, right? Every problem creates an opportunity. So we had a great opportunity there. So I hired an intern, and we did a lot of data mining, and we found as many email addresses as we could, created online workshops, and just promoted the heck out of them, and we got a lot of attendance. I mean, 300 people in one workshop for us is pretty big, so we're really happy to have that. In addition, as we did these Zoom recordings, we ended up with a lot of footage, and we wanted to stretch and continue out the use of the knowledge, right? So it's not just a one-time thing where we can speak to the community. We can now have these recordings, and they'll maintain credits for our farming community, and we can post them in an online, on-demand method. So we had to learn how to make some changes. So the continuing education group for the CEUs, so we have these people called pest control advisors, for those of you that don't know. If they want to spray a field with a restricted use pesticide in Arizona or California, they have to get somebody with this license, a pest control license, to write a prescription. They call it a recommendation. And those people require continuing education, formal credit hours that they earn every year. And they have to have that to maintain their license. So that's one of the big things that came out on that needs assessment survey is more training. So we've started really pumping that training, online on-demand training, and it's been really successful because, during most of the year it's not used, but then, December comes around and they realize they need their credits by the end of the year, we get hit hard. So last year we were able to serve 80 people, and so far we've already served 30, so we're way ahead of schedule of where we were last year. We typically take recordings of these meetings and do the online on-demand format. It means that you can't fast forward it. It has in-video questions. If you get it right, you continue on. If you fail the question, you rewind the video a little bit, have to rewind a little bit, rewatch. And then there has to be a quiz at the end, and then once they watch it, they get emailed a certificate of completion automatically. So it's a good thing for these guys. In addition to these training videos, to the workshop videos, we were able to make a movie where we followed around PCAs, pest control advisors, kind of like the show Cops, where we do ride-alongs, and then we were able to, we were going to call it Crops. Bad bugs, what you going to do? So, when we found out a way to have a choose your own adventure training. So you get to a point, the pickup truck drives up to the field. They said, something pops up on the screen. Do you want to walk the field or do you want to drive around it? And both take you to a different part in the video where we have a different result, right? So your choices have results. So we want to keep our farming community engaged. So in addition to that, we're able to make a lot of LinkedIn posts. So we take all this video archives that we have, chop it up into 30-second, 60-second pieces and put this online. And we're doing that on a schedule. So we're doing it every Tuesday, Thursday. We put a LinkedIn post of a little information nugget. I would love to expand out to TikTok and Instagram and all that stuff. Because I think the need is there. I mean, it doesn't have to be mindless stuff. It can just be little information nuggets that we pass out to the community. So getting a lot of interest there. Newsletters. So we did a lot of data mining. I was able to up our newsletter count from 300 people to go up to 1,300 people. So every couple of weeks I kick out one, and mostly it lists other educational opportunities that are going on in this region or in California. And if anybody in this room wants to be added to that newsletter list, please find me afterwards. And then the needs assessment survey that we did. So I'm going to do some shameless promotion after this. I'm going to hand out some cards that'll send you to our online on-demand workshops. So I'm just going to be sending that your way after. The other half of what I do is field research. Most of what I do is for crop production. So it's, industrial hemp came around. Like Russ said, I'm not really going to talk a lot about that because basically the bottom dropped out of the market and there's a lot of challenges. And do we address all these challenges or do we just move on? And if it was more economically viable, we would address all those challenges. But I think everybody's ready to move on. So we're going to move on here. Do a lot of work with winter vegetable production and summer rotational crops as well. And then with that, I do a lot of work for industry. Most of my work is contract research. I mean, that's my history before this job. I worked for Research Design for Agriculture, a contract research group. So I do a lot of research for industry, helping them third-party validate their stuff. So I'm running out of time, so I also do a lot of soil health and water reduction and salt mitigation work too. So if anybody's interested in collaborating, mostly doing work on the research station that Bert runs, hit me up.
So our last speaker will be Tanya Hodges with Yuma. And you might ask, how does the Yuma teaching, how does that help us in the ag industry? Well, I will tell you it's absolutely critical. Tanya is absolutely a fireball. I think she works 27 hours a day. But I think ultimately she was responsible for building Yuma. And what Yuma does is give our local kids an opportunity to get a 4-year degree or an advanced degree even. In most of it's in the ag industry. So she is educating the next generation of the workers. So it's absolutely critical in our whole package that we provide. So with that, Tanya Hodges.
So funny story. They told me I had 5 minutes and I gave them 40 slides, so I got to go fast. So real quickly, thank you just for the opportunity. U of A Yuma would not be here without the partnership between the Research Center, the Extension, all of you that are teachers for us or will be teachers for us at one point in time, in our community that supports us. So we have international prestige with local impact. We're really proud of that. Now, if I can just get this thing to scroll in the right way. U of A Yuma, a lot of people think red and blue, you have to be on main campus. If you're a student, you have to be on main campus. Well, that is one option. And nowadays, of course, we have the online campus, and then we have the distance campuses here. We have our own mission and vision and goals, which are under the umbrella of the university and CALS and College of Engineering and the other colleges that we represent, their mission and vision and goals. We will have some of our cards out on the table, so if you want to read through all this later, you can. Important thing, though, is we are workforce development university. So in other words, we take a survey of the region and we say, okay, where are the gaps? Where do we need people, professionals, to fill the gaps? So we work under this pillar system, which is agriculture, engineering and technology, community development and wellness, and business, with all of our degrees required to have an undergraduate research component, leadership component, and all of the foundation soft skills that go with it. So we are a regional school. Many of you might not know that. We take care of students all the way to the San Diego Mountains, up into Palm Desert, all of La Paz County, Yuma County, and we are technically an international school as well. We can serve 100 miles into Mexico. The students that do want to come up from that 100-mile range need to pipeline through our community colleges because all of our programs are a 2+2. So we serve over 10,000 square miles of student area. So let's see, what do I want to tell you about? So we represent the College of Agriculture, the College of Engineering, and now we have interdisciplinary studies as well that are just started working with us. If you are interested in teaching for us, even if you're in Tucson, but you teach a class and you want to open it up a program, reach out because we have students that are cross-discipline. In other words, we are making sure that if you are an agronomist, but you're interested in working in precision agriculture, that you have the opportunity to learn coding or other engineering skill sets. If you are an engineer, because now we have 5 engineering degrees, and you're interested in working in precision agriculture, you could actually do a minor in any of our plant sciences or agronomy, SPS majors, or business, those type of things. So we really are trying to create this interdisciplinary type of program where students can decide and customize their degree based on the career that they want to have. So we're going to click quickly because I'm just talking. We'll have some of these posters out or these little postcards out at the table as well. Another thing we're doing, we've expanded into the health and wellness areas as well. So it's not just the technical engineering and technical agriculture, but we brought on dietetics, nutritional sciences. We're bringing on, we have family studies, human development. They all work together within the public health areas of Yuma County. And we're also investigating more food systems. We're really, one of my goals is to have a food systems laboratory that students can actually work in one space that takes us from farm to fork all the way through the food systems, including like brewing and distilling and looking at alternative food sources. Keep going, keep going, keep going. One of the things that's really important too to think about when you're working with students is that we have a lot of them available. All of our students do have to do capstones, undergraduate research, and internships. So if you are looking for an interdisciplinary type of student that has certain skill sets, think of our Yuma students. It's very important for them to be able to work. All of our classes don't start until the evening. We're kind of unique. So students can work during the day, get their experiences, and then come back and go to school in the evening. So think about us as well. We have a full set of clubs and activities for our students to be engaged with. So it's not just about, we're going to throw a bunch of classes online and then let them just figure it all out. Our students, we have a campus that they're very active and very engaged in. So you can tell we have a lot of activities. We have a developed pipeline and a big support system in our industries, like our Arizona Leafy Greens and some of our other supporters, where we do a pipeline program with GoAg. If you haven't had a chance to go to the website, it's called GoAg Now, and we can look at all different types of careers. Parents, family members, counselors can get in and start looking at all the different jobs available in agriculture. Just real quickly, I wanted to summarize, just in case, another way to think about us as students is in your grants and grant writing. We have several, Dr. Sanchez has over the years written in students and student activities. So we have been awarded over $3 million of different grants currently supporting students. So, I mean, I don't think we have time to go through all of them, but think about us in your grants as well, ways that you can build into your research, students, student time, student workers, things like that, because it's all very important to us. So I think that's it, because I know we're already running out of time, and thank you for this time.
I want to give a shout out to our ag community. You guys are tremendous here, and I've heard the term Silicon Valley of agriculture. I think that's appropriate. You guys are the cutting edge, you're creative, you're always looking at ways to improve, and without your support and your input and your support, we couldn't do what we do. So it's the Barclays, it's the Smiths, it's the Alamedas, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Your guys' support is absolutely wonderful, and thank you.